Hola, people, what's going on here? Throwback Thursday. Made it through yesterday's part, the polar vortex. How's everybody doing on Thursday? Throwback Thursday. It's cold here still, but we're heating up. What's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Who's on here? Brent Jones, how you doing, man? Thank you for tuning into my live stream. Throwback Thursday. Question today. Why is it that when we want or we think that if we go back to school, that will increase our value and salary to the marketplace? Back to like traditional school. And I hear a lot of people, especially now, in with the debacle of student loan debt over almost $1 trillion. Does it really make sense for you to get a student loan, especially if you're in your 50s, to get a student loan to go back to school? Does it really make sense? Let's talk about that, people. Does it really make sense to go back to school in your 50s? Okay? Especially in the medical field. Okay, there's so many things to learn. I know people want to do their passion. I understand that, but sometimes your passion don't make a lot of sense, especially after a certain age, especially something like that. And I'm not trying to knock people for going out and do their passion, but you know what? We have to make real life decisions about what is practical and what isn't in today's market and what's going on. You have to think about, okay, I'm gonna spend the next 4 to 6 years learning nursing, and I'm in my mid-50s. Most people should be retiring. I think the biggest notion in people's minds is that they go back to school because they think that will increase their value and salary in the marketplace, and in reality, it doesn't. What increases your salary and your value, more your value. Your value is going to increase your salary, not so much traditional education. There's a lot of people that got traditional education out there, and it's not helping anything. It's not doing shit for them. Okay? You got to understand why you need to look at other alternatives. You can get education. There's so much online stuff now. And to increase your value and it doesn't in today's market, take years to increase your value or get information. See, after a while, we got to be looking at time management. It's really in your 40s and 50s. Probably in your 30s, you need to look in that time as the commodity. Is it really practical, people? Is it really practical to go back to something that's going to take 4 to 5, 6 years to learn? And contrary to what we want to believe, contrary to what we want to say, there's age discrimination, folks, in the market, okay? Especially when you going in there trying to beg for a job in something. I'm trying to fit this back in my thing here. We're going back to school to beg for something that really that we're not out of control. We are so brainwashed to think that only way we can make money is in the practical. It's not the practical. It's in the going to somewhere industry. I call it the corporate plantation to make money. There, you gotta consider time, age, all those type of things, and the practicality of everything. Is it worth it, people? Let's think in the terms of, is it really worth going back to school for? Because at the end of the day, folks, they're always going to be, we live in a society where they're always want the younger ones, because they tend to be, a little more healthier. They don't have the life expectancy. They don't have the life experience, yet they don't have the life debacles that older people have gone through, and they tend to be a little more I guess they tend to be a little more open. Not everyone, but you understand what I'm saying? The general population, the general corporate structure looks at youth as somebody they can manipulate and train to what they want. Somebody like my age or older or in their 50s, they don't want, because we got experience. Our experiences do make our reality, contrary to what people want to think about all this. So the biggest problem I have, and what I'm saying to people, and I'm not saying it's just a survey. It's just I don't want to say a survey. It's just observation. I see more and more, and I don't want to knock people for their dreams and everything, but I'm a very practical person. Maybe it's because of the Taurus sign that I'm born under. I was talking to a friend of mine that's talking about she closed her business to go to nursing school. I know she's in her 50s, people. I just don't think it's a very practical thing. That's just my interpretation on a lot of things. I don't know why people think going back to school is going to be the key to bringing value. And bringing value is all about how getting the information, or getting educated. Doesn't matter how you get educated. Okay, it's just that you do. And most of us don't get that. Time, when you're in your 50s, ain't on your side. Time is a commodity that you don't want to waste. You want to do things in the shortest amount of time, in the quickest amount of time. I mean, it takes time, but you don't want to spend. Do you really in your 50s want to spend 4 to 6 years trying to? You're almost 60 to be going to school like that. When you can do certain things in other avenues to help you make money more. I don't get it. I think it's just a training thing that we've been so conditioned. I did another video on that, brainwashing, how we've been brainwashed to think that we have to work for somebody. I don't get why people are not educated enough to understand the leveraging factors of social media and internet. I think sometimes now with, we got a lot of people in the market want to down the social media thing because they're talking about how the effect it is on kids. Kids have been bullied since time immemorial, folks. Why don't we give kids the tool and don't let it be blamed on social media? Social media is just a tool. Okay, it's like we don't say much about, we let all these kids ride around in these cars and stuff, and they're more dangerous than social media. Kids don't get the proper training on how to be behind the wheel, and statistics show that they're the more dangerous in their 20s, teens and 20s behind the wheel. But that's because we took out driver's ed. We took out a whole lot of different things in the school to help them be prepared to be behind the wheel safely. Okay? But yet we want to blame social media and stuff for them being bullied and these kids committing suicide. No. Parents, if you're gonna bring a kid into the world, prepare them, bring some tools for them to deal with the world. A lot of these kids, a lot of these millennials and younger aren't prepared for a lot of things. They don't have the tools to survive. And it ain't social media fault. It's the way they're raised. They're coddled too much about giving them, prizes for something they didn't really achieve. Tell me something, folks. What is the use in having a graduation in kindergarten? That's not no self-esteem thing. You give them self-esteem. Nobody gives a shit about whether they had a graduation at kindergarten. Self-esteem is being prepared how to deal with the trials and tribulations of being alive. If you want to give your kids self-esteem, that's what you need to do. But we train them to be coddled in a system that doesn't really give a fuck about them. And this has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with political affiliation. This has to do with human beings, and how we are so connected to this, as I call it, the matrix, and how it tells and brainwashes us to think, and to think that we got all this time. We really do, and we don't. After a while, you got more behind you than you got in front of you. So you got to be thinking consideration. Okay, I'm 50 something years old. I'm 59. I'll be 60 in May. But I'm just saying, people, you have to consideration how I'm gonna make more money, how I'm gonna do it in the shortest time possible. Okay, you can create passions. Okay, passions don't always have to be so much. Living life, you can have a whole lot of different passions. Just like people always talk about soulmates. Well, I think there's probably a few soulmates for you. But that's here and there. You have to consider the time factor. And when you go and talk about going back to school, takes time, people. Any school, even online. Even though there's some of them you can do stuff in 6 months or more. I know with nursing, it's probably better. It's hard to do a nursing degree online, because you need the practical, hands-on type stuff. But that still takes time, people. And then you don't get into doing a lot of things. It takes years. I had a friend who went into nursing. It's been over 10 years, and she's not even working in nursing. She started in her late 40s. The girl I used to date, and she's not even doing that. And now she's doing what she's doing is taking care of her parents. But you know what? Right now, with that being said, what are you gonna do if something like that? You gotta drop all that and take care of parents. You need people. Let's be practical. You need something. Most people don't understand it. You need something that's gonna help you financially without you always being there active doing it. I'm gonna keep preaching this probably for the rest of my time here on earth, because I think people need to realize that after you get a certain age, regardless what your hopes and dreams and stuff are at, those are good, but the practicality is we live in a physical world of people and man. And the universe gives us some common sense, hopefully, for some of us, to recognize what we need to do versus what we want to do. Okay? I understand that people have passions and want to, they want to do this because they don't feel like they're passionate about it, they can't do it. I understand that, but I wanted to be a filmmaker. But, in actuality, I'm doing film type stuff because of video technology. So, sometimes your passion can lead you to other things if you pay attention to the changes in the market and the technological advances. It can help you get into your passions, but in a different way. So you really got to truly say, what is your passion? But, a lot of people jump from different careers to different careers, and Social Security is not going to make it for most people. If you ain't worked anywhere for retirement, you're not going to get anything. So you need to be putting things in place, investments, some kind of residual-based income that's going to sustain you. Because you depend on government, Social Security, all this stuff that's happened with the debacle, with this shutdown, most people will be fucked. You don't want to be like that. Especially when you're sliding in your 60s and 70s or so, whatever. You have to think in terms of how's this going to affect my family. The time factor, people. The time factor. Okay? That's my Throwback Thursday rant, if you want to call it. I think we're getting out of this sub-zero freeze. Is up above zero. I hope we're out of the single digits, in the double digits around almost right now. It's like, I guess it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Columbus, Ohio, folks. I'm just trying to test out. I don't know how this is going to look. I don't like the border stuff that when we do videos, so I don't know what's this going to look like. I'm going to have to redo this in the editing, see if I can turn this around. With that being said, people, hope you got value. Peace out. Take care. Keep warm wherever you're at. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.